Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Test Code Automate. So this is my 20th video for the Playwright with TypeScript series. In this video, I would be covering how to handle dialogues or JavaScript alerts in Playwright. So let's start. So by default, dialogues are auto dismissed by Playwright. So you don't have to handle them. So now you will say why you are telling us about this how to handle these dialogues or JavaScript alerts. So let me give you one example why we are going to learn this, how to handle dialogues or JavaScript alerts. Okay. So let's say whenever you perform any action, let's say if you are clicking onto any button, and in that case, once you click onto the button, some dialogues are appearing. Okay. So if the playwright will automatically dismiss those dialogues, you will not be able to see them, right? It will get automatically dismissed. But let's say if you want to perform some assertion onto these dialogues, right? The dialogues will appear like this. I have captured the image. So onto these dialogues, let's say if you want to perform some assertion, right? So in that case, if it will get auto dismissed, you will not be able to do it, right? So for that, we will require those pop-up first, right? And then we can handle it. So in that case, what Playwright is saying, you can register a dialog handler before the action that triggers the dialog. Okay. And then we can accept it or dismiss it. So here what we can do, we can register a dialog handler. Okay. And with that, inside the dialog handler, we can perform all the assertion or the verification which we want to perform onto these dialogues, and then we can either accept it or dismiss it. Okay. So now let's see. For this particular video, I'm going to use this website, which is the internethirokuapp.com with this JavaScript alert page. Okay. So let's see what are these dialogues, right? So there are different type of dialogues which would be there. So first one would be the alert, second one would be the confirm, and third one would be the prompt. Let's see them one by one. So here onto this site, these three buttons are there for different dialogues. Okay. So on first one, if we will click, we will get the alert dialog. Okay. Click for JS alert. So see here we are able to see this alert dialog, right? You can also call them JavaScript alert, but I will use the term dialog. Okay. So here, what we are able to see here, it is saying that from the internethirokuapp.com says, right, what it says, we are getting this message, which is I am a JS alert. Okay, this is the message which is appearing onto the alert dialog. Okay, it can change, right, according to what developer has given. Okay, and onto this alert, we are able to see this OK button. Okay, so these are the two main things which you would be able to see onto the dialog. One would be the message, and second one would be the button, and these two would appear onto the alert dialog only. Okay, and once we hit OK, this dialog will get closed. Okay, so now let's see how we can handle this dialog, which is alert. Okay, so let's go to the VS Code. So here I have already created one test script file, which is handle dialogs.spec.ts, and inside this file I have imported the test and expect from the Playwright test, and created this test block with the title handle dialog, and this anonymous function I have given, inside which I have given this code page.goto to go on to this link, right? The internethirokuapp.com. Okay, now what we will do, we will perform the action, right? And what action we are going to perform? We are going to click onto that button, right? First button which we saw, click for JS alert. Okay, so let me open this pick locator, and we will paste this link to get the locator of that particular button. Okay, and here you will have to use that locator with this await page, and let's inspect that locator. Okay, first copy the link here. I've copied it wrong. Let me copy it again. Just copy this link, paste it here. So here we will use the pick locator to get the locator. So see, once I click here, this get by role locator will get copied. Go to the VS Code. Okay, and just hit enter to copy the locator, and here we would be using that locator, which is get by rule. Okay, which is of type button, and the name is click for JS alert. About this get by methods, we have already learned into my previous video. So if you have not watched that video, I will recommend you to watch the video. I will provide the link of that video also into the description. Okay, So now let's continue. So here, once the locator is there, let's perform the click operation. Okay. And let me run the script. Let's close all the browser. So once I run the script, what will happen? The Playwright will open this link and then it will click onto that button, and on clicking on the button, that pop-up should appear. Okay. But what we learned, once we click onto the button, this pop-up or the dialog which is going to appear should automatically get dismissed by the Playwright, right? So see, this test got passed because what happened, it opened the link, it clicked onto that button, right, first button, but we are not able to see that pop-up here because the Playwright automatically dismissed it, right? But let's say we want to perform that those assertions, right, onto this dialog. Let me click here manually. So we want to perform some assertion onto this dialog. And what type of assertion we would be performing? So first assertion what we can perform, let's say we want to validate that what is the type of this dialog. It can be alert or the confirm or prompt. Okay. And second assertion which we can check is this message. What is the message which is appearing here? So here it is appearing like I am a JS alert. Okay. So these two things we can verify. Okay. And after that we can handle that particular pop-up. So handling, when I'm saying, so we can either accept it or the dismiss it. So once we accept it, so what will happen? So once I accept it, here this result would be appearing. You successfully clicked an alert. Okay. So let's give that event handler. Okay. So to give the event handler, what we need to do? So here we saw into the document, right? So we need to provide the event handler or the dialog handler before the action that triggers the dialog. Okay. So which is the action which is causing the dialog is this, right? Once we are clicking onto that first button, click for JS alert, that dialog is appearing, right? So before this, we need to provide the dialog handler. Okay. And how we can provide the dialog handler? So here you need to use this page dot on method we are going to use. Okay. And inside this on method, we need to provide two arguments. Okay. So the first one would be the event. So what is the event? So once we are clicking onto the button, so that dialog is appearing, right? So dialog would be the event for us. So we need to pass the dialog as the string as the first argument. Okay. And the second argument would be the listener, right? So see, first this event we have already provided, and the second argument is the listener. So listener would be the anonymous function, right? So how we can provide the listener? This page dot on. So first argument is the event, which is dialog, and then here we are going to give this anonymous function as the listener. So how we can give the anonymous function, right? Previously also usually we provide, this is the anonymous function, right? We provide the anonymous function with this arrow key and then the curly braces. So here we are going to give this dialog, right? We are going to use this dialog, sorry, dialog. Okay. And then these equals to greater than symbol. This is the arrow symbol, right? And then we are going to use the curly braces. Okay. And inside this, what we are going to do, we are going to perform those assertions, right? We just talked. And then we are going to handle that pop-up by accepting it. Okay. So let's first provide the assertion. So how we can provide the assertion? With the help of expect. So expect, and then what I am trying to validate, I am first trying to validate what is the type of that dialog. So we are going to use this dialog, right? So dialog I will use here. Okay. We used to use this page, right? Here for the whole test block. So similarly, we have created the anonymous function with this dialog. We would be giving it here, the dialog. Okay. And then dot. And after that, what we are going to validate? This type. So this is the type method we will have to use. Okay. And then here we can check to equal. And this type to be equals to what? It should be equals to alert. Because this dialog is of type alert, right? So that's what we have given. And this dialog dot type. So this type method is returning the string, right? So what we are doing, we are expecting this string, which is alert, to equals to this alert, right? And the second assertion what we are giving, which is expect, and now we are going to validate that message should be the same, right? So here we will again provide the dialog dot, and then we are going to use this message method. Okay, and then this message method is also going to return a string. Okay, see here, once you mouse over onto this method, you are able to see that it is going to return a string, right? So whatever the message which is displayed onto the dialog, right, it will return it as the string. And what we will do, we will validate it should be equals to, so we are going to use this dot equal method, and the message we can copy here, right? So let's copy this message. Okay, so with the help of this, we would be able to validate this particular alerts message should be equals to this I am JS alert, right? And then we can handle this particular alert dialog. Okay, so let's first run it directly without handling that alert. Okay, so once I run it, what will happen, it will open this particular link. Okay, here, so see, it is opening the link, and then it clicked onto this particular button. Okay, and once it clicked onto the button, it went onto this particular dialog handler. Okay, and here it will provide the assertion, okay, with the help of this listener, and then it should close it, right? But we have not handled it. We are just providing the assertion, but we have not handled that particular dialog, alert dialog. Okay, so what is happening, it opened the link, okay, and then it clicked onto this button, and this pop-up appeared. But as we have not handled that pop-up, this error we are getting. Why? Because we have not handled it. Okay, so let me first handle it. In that case, this error will not come. Okay, so that's what we have written it into the document also. See here, when there is a page dot on dialog listener present, okay, so it must either accept it or dismiss it with the help of this dialog dot accept or dialog dot dismiss method. Otherwise, what will happen, otherwise the page will freeze, right, waiting for the dialog, therefore block the further page execution until they are handled. Okay, so that's what happened, right? It clicked onto that button, and then after that, as we have not handled it, so it freezed, right, and it was not able to perform the further execution. So let's provide that handling thing. So to handle this dialog, what we are going to do, we are going to use this dialog dot, and then we can use this accept method. So what it will do, it will click here, okay, onto the button, and then once it click, it will find that I've got the dialog, right? So once we got the dialog, what will happen, it will go to this handler, right, dialog handler, with the help of this page dot on method we have written, right? Then it will find the event is dialog, right, which we have given here. And once it finds the event, it will use this listener, right, and it will perform these two assertions, whatever the code which we have given. Okay, and then it will handle that particular alert dialog. Okay, so it will get closed, and once this dialog is closed, so here we would be able to see the result onto the web page. Okay, so see, once we accepted this alert, so we are able to see this, you successfully clicked an alert. So this is the message which we are getting onto the web page, right? So for that, we can also provide the assertion. So we would be sure, right, we have accepted that pop-up, and now this message is appearing, right? So this is separate from this dialog thing, right? This dialog handling thing is done right here. So we are able to click onto the button, and once we are clicking on it, so we are getting an alert dialog, and we have provided the assertion for that dialog, and then we have closed it, right? Now we are just providing an additional assertion to validate that onto the web page this particular message is appearing or not, right? In your case, let's say if there is no message which is appearing, or once you accept it, if there is no message which is appearing, then you need not to provide this assertion, right? But here I will provide that assertion, how we need to provide it, await, and then expect, and then let's detect that result message, this one, right? Or let's inspect it, or and we will kind of create a locator for this one. So see here, this id attributes value is there, so let's use it. So here I'm going to use this page dot locator method, okay, and then I will provide that CSS selector with the help of ID. So about this locator method also we have already learned into my previous video. So if you have not watched that video, I will recommend you to watch the video. I will provide the link of the video into the description. Okay, so now let's continue. So here inside this page.locator, I will provide that CSS selector. So this hash I need to give, and then this ID value. Okay, and then after this, what we are going to do, we are going to check that this locator to have text. Okay, this method we are going to use to have text, and what is the text which we are getting is this one: you successfully clicked an alert. So give it here. Okay, so once it will handle that pop-up, okay, it will accept it, and once it is accepted, we are able to see this message. So that's why we have provided this assertion. Okay, so now once I run the script, this execution will happen. And one more thing here, we have not used this await. Why we have not used it? Because this dot equal, right, it is not returning any promise, right? These are the non-retrying assertion, right? About this also we have talked, right? So let's run the script. So see, again it started the execution. This link got opened, the pop-up got handled, right, automatically with this dialog handler, and this message appeared, right? So the execution should get passed. So see, we are able to see the pass the execution. Okay, so this is the way we were able to handle the alert, right? So which is one of the type of this dialog. What is the second type? So the second type is the confirm dialog. Okay, so let's see it into the application. So once I click onto this button, click for JS confirm, right? So we are able to see this dialog, right? Inside this dialog, what is the difference from the alert dialog? So here we are able to see the same thing, right? The internethiroku.com says, then this message also is the same, but there is one difference. For the alert, we were able to see only the OK button, right? But now we are able to see the OK and the cancel button. Okay, so either I can click onto the OK button, so I will be able to see this message, right? You clicked OK, and if I click onto the cancel button, so that also I can do, and here onto the web page also we are able to see this message: you clicked cancel, right? So now onto this dialog, which is confirm dialog, we are able to perform two different action, right? Either we can accept it or we can dismiss it with the help of this cancel button. Okay, so now let's see how we can handle it. Okay, so for this I will create one more test. Okay, here we will handle this confirm dialog, right? And here we were handling the alert dialog, right? Let me give that alert here. Okay, now we need to provide this anonymous function, and here the page fixture. Now let's go to this link. Let me copy this page.goto line. So this line we need to copy, paste. Okay, and then what we need to do, we need to perform that action, right? We need to first click onto the second button, which is kind of giving the dialog of type confirm. Okay, so now let me inspect that second button. Click onto the pick locator, and this is the button, right? Click on it, go to the VS Code, hit enter to copy that locator. Okay, and then await, and then page dot paste that locator which just got generated with the help of this pick locator. Okay, and then we are going to perform the click operation. Okay, so now same thing, if we will directly run it, Playwright will automatically handle that particular dialog, right? But we want to handle it separately. So what we will do, we will use this page.on method again. So we need to provide it before the action, right? Whenever we are performing the action, so before that this page.on method should come, this dialog handler should come, right? It before, when I'm saying, right, it can come at any place before this action, right? It can come just before that line, or it can come at any line, right? Here also we can use this page.on, this dialog handler, right? It will work. Okay, but for the better visibility, we are just providing it just before the action, right? So page dot on, and then what is the event? So event would be the dialog, and then we need to provide the listener. So it would be the anonymous function, which will take this dialog as the parameter. Okay, and then equals to, greater than, which is the arrow symbol, then curly braces, and inside it we would be writing our code. So the same thing we can copy, right? We are going to provide these two assertions. Okay, first would be the type which we will be validating. Okay, and the second one would be the message which we are going to validate. So what message which is appearing? So I am JS confirm, right? So previously we validated it like this, I am JS alert, but it is different now, right? The message is I am JS confirm, and also the type would be the different, right? So previously, once we clicked onto the button, the alert dialog was appearing, but now the confirm dialog is appearing, right? So that we will give here, and once we give the assertion, we can now give this handling thing, right? So what we are going to do, we are going to first accept this particular pop-up. Okay, now if I will run it, right, it will first click on it. Okay, let's run it and see it, how it will behave. Okay, here I'm not providing this assertion, we will see, right? Once, as I'm giving this accept method, so it will click onto the OK, and that message we would be able to see onto the web page. So let's run it. So it will open this link, then it will go to this particular line, it will perform click operation onto that button. Okay, and then once that pop-up is appearing, it will perform all the checks, right? Assertion, and see, it clicked onto the OK button, and see, the execution got completed, and we are able to see you clicked OK, right? If you want to perform the assertion also for this message, you can, right? But the handling is done right here. We provided the assertion, right, for that dialog, which is of type confirm with this message, and then we have handled it, right? And we can also dismiss it. Here we have clicked onto the OK button with the help of the accept method, but now we can use the dismiss method also. Let's use it. DISMISS. Okay, so now once I run it, what should happen? It will open this pop-up, it will click onto the cancel button, but we will be able to see this you clicked cancel, right? Because we are using this dismiss method. So let's run it. Let's close all the browser. Okay, let's run it again. So see, here the browser got open, that link is opening here, and it clicked onto that JS confirm, it performed all the assertion inside this dialog handler. Okay, and then it clicked onto the dismiss button. So because of that only, we are able to see this message, right? You clicked cancel, right? If you want to check it with the help of assertion, all right, you can check it like this. Here we checked the message, you can also check it, right? So this was the confirm dialog handling, right? So by this way, you can perform all the assertion, you can handle it, right, with the help of it, and you will be able to close it, either dismiss it or the accept it. So now coming on to the third type of this dialog, which is the prompt, right? So it will look like this. So let me click on to this third button, which is click for JS prompt. So as soon as I click on it, so I would be able to see this dialog, which is of type prompt. Why it is prompt? Because here we are getting this particular input box also, right, where we can enter the value. So previously we saw the alert, then the confirm, but now there is one more thing which got added into the confirm box, which is this input. Okay, so here the same thing which is appearing, internetheroku.com says, okay, whatever the site says, then the message we are able to see, I am a JS prompt, and this input box we are able to see with the help of OK and cancel button, which were appearing also onto the confirm box, right? But this is the extra thing which is appearing for the prompt. Okay, so now let's handle this one. Okay, go to the VS Code. Let's copy this test block again. So see, I have copied that test block here. I'm going to handle this prompt dialog, right? And inside this anonymous function, right, we have already given this page.goto, and here we need to perform the click operation onto this this button, right? Click for JS prompt. So let's inspect it. With the help of this click locator, we would be able to get the locator, right? Click on it, go to the VS Code, hit enter to copy the locator, right? And here let's replace it with this one, page dot get by role, that button which is of name click for JS prompt, and then we are clicking on it, right? And then before this action, right, what we need to do, we need to provide the same thing. We need to provide the dialog handler, right, which is we are providing with the help of this page dot on method. Inside it we are providing that event which is dialog, right? So the event is same for all type of dialogs which we are getting, which will be dialog, right? And then this anonymous function with this dialog. So here we are going to perform first assertion which is of type, right? So dialog dot type 2 equals to prompt, right? This one prompt. And what should be the message? So once I click here, so message is I am a JS prompt. So let's use it, dialog dot message 2 equals, and then we are going to replace it with this I am JS prompt. Okay, now you can, what you can do, you can perform two different action here, right? Or you can handle this particular prompt with two different ways, right? First thing is that you can accept it by clicking onto the OK button, or you can click onto this cancel button. Okay, so for that we are going to use the same method which we used for the confirm dialog. So first one would be the accept. Okay, so what it will do, it will click onto the OK button. But one more thing, as it is prompt, so here the input box is there, right? And here we can enter any value, right? Let's use this our channel name, which is test code automate. Okay, and once I hit OK, so here see, I would be able to see this, you entered test code automate. Okay, so here inside this accept method, we need to give that text as the string, right, which we want to enter inside that input box. Okay, so that I have given. So what it will do, it will perform the assertion, it will enter this text into the input box of that prompt, and then it will click onto the OK. Okay, so here if you will mouse over onto this accept also, so see here it is telling, right, we can enter this prompt text, right, which will get entered into that input box of the prompt. So now let's run this test now. Okay, let me close all the browser. Okay, so it will open this internet hero app link. It will go to the button which is this click for JS prompt. Once it will click, it will be able to see this prompt dialog, okay, where it will enter the value. So see, the execution is done, and it entered this test code automate value, so we are able to see the same. Okay, and I clicked onto the OK with the help of this accept method. Okay, and the second thing which we can give is this dismiss, right? So once I click onto the dismiss button, what will happen? It will show this you entered null. Okay, let me close the browser, and now let's give that dismiss, right? So here we are handling the pop-up, but we are dismissing it. We are not clicking onto the OK. So this dismiss I have provided, right? So let's see, we should be able to see that, right, you entered null. Okay, let's run the script again. Okay, so the browser is open, it clicked onto that button. Okay, and then we are able to see that you entered null, right, because we have dismissed that particular prompt dialog, right? And apart from these two assertion, we can provide one more assertion for this prompt dialog only. What is that assertion? We can use it, this expect method. We can use this expect method, and inside it use that dialog again, dialog dot, and this default value is one method which we can use. So what this default value will give, so default value, once I click here, right, so this input box which we are getting, so for now here it is empty, right, but in your case, for your website, let's say some message which is by default appearing, right? So that also you can validate. So here you need to give this expect and that dialog.default value method. Okay, so it will return the default value as the string which is there inside this input box. So for us it is empty, so that also we can validate with the help of this dot to equal, and here I can give this blank string. But let's say for you, if something is appearing inside this input box, so you can give it here, so you would be able to validate it, right? Okay, so now let's run the script. So our all three assertions should get passed, right? And here let's accept it again, and this time I'm not entering any value inside this input box, so the same message will appear here, right? Let me clear it. So see, if I click here and if I do not hit any value, right, do not enter any value and hit OK, so it will show like this, you entered, and nothing is appearing, right? Blank value is there, right? So let's run it. If you want, you can give any value, but for now I have not given any value. Okay, let's run the script. So again, it will open that page. Okay, see, it clicked here, it opened that prompt. Okay, and then clicked onto the OK button. But here, see, we are not able to see any message because we have not entered anything inside that input box. So that's why it is just appearing you entered. Okay, and see, all three assertions also got passed for us. See, okay. So yeah, this was the third type of dialog, right, which is prompt. Okay, so that's it for this particular video. Let me give you the quick recap. Okay, so we learned about it, right? How to handle the dialogs or the JavaScript alerts. So by default, Playwright will automatically dismiss those dialogs if it is appearing, but we can also handle it by providing a dialog handler. Okay, so with the help of dialog handler, we would be able to perform whatever the assertions or the checks which we want to provide onto any type of dialog. It may be alert or the confirm or the prompt. Okay, and then after kind of checking or the providing assertion, we can handle that pop-up or the dialog with the help of this accept or dismiss methods. Okay, and it is here we learned, right, it is mandatory to kind of handle those pop-ups if we are using this page.on method, right? If we are using this dialog handler, so inside the listener, we will have to either give this accept or the dismiss method, otherwise it will kind of freeze the page, right, and you will not be able to proceed further with the execution. So that's why whenever you are using this page.on method, so you will have to handle it inside the listener part, right, which was the second argument. So see, here we used it like this one, right? So before this particular line which is causing the dialog, right, so here once we click onto the button, so what it is causing the dialog to appear. So before this line, it can be just before it, or it can be at any point before this line inside the test, right? So we need to provide this page.on, and here we need to give the event, right, the dialog. Okay, and then we would be using this anonymous function with this dialog argument. Okay, and there we can provide the different assertions like type. We can validate the message which is appearing onto the dialog, and we can also validate the default value in case of prompt dialog, right? And after that, we can either accept it or dismiss it, and in case of prompt, we can also provide the value inside it, right? ABC, right? Any value we can provide it. And okay, and then once it is done, it will come out of this event or the dialog handler, and then your execution will get continued from here, right? If you write let's say 5 more lines here, so it will get executed. Okay, so yeah, that's it from my end. You can click onto this first card to watch the next video. You can click onto the second card to watch the full playlist of the Playwright tutorials. Okay, and stay tuned for my upcoming videos. If you have any comments, questions or doubts, you can let me know into the comment section below. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much. Have a great day.